past few months, coaches have been making a mad dash to transition to an online coaching service model. And it's proven to be quite frustrating and relatively overwhelming for a lot of those individuals. Consider the fact that just software platforms alone and the research of which one is going to work best for you can take hours before you even come close to making a decision, let alone all the variations in consideration of service models that you could possibly employ, leveraging technology in the virtual world to your advantage and using it to structure your business. As a byproduct, I've had quite a few coaches reach out to me ready to pull their hair out because they don't know exactly what to do and they don't know how to move forward. And because of that almost over-analysis paralysis and overwhelming amount of information available to them, they don't know where to pivot, and further, they don't know exactly how to take that first step and which step is going to best serve them moving forward. Understanding as much, I'm going to give you some insight into exactly how I got started in the online coaching industry and how I transitioned to offering online services and kind of how that has evolved as my business has evolved. Fortunately, lockdown didn't force me to transition to an online model. I had already been providing an online model and online models, depending on how exactly I was engaging with a particular client and what services would prove most beneficial relative to their individual needs and goals. In fact, I've been in the online coaching world for over 5 years now. Definitely not as long as some of the originals in the game, but I've been in the industry for much longer than it was considered cool, and especially much longer than it's been considered an absolute necessity for individuals to generate their income. Now, it's worth noting that when I first started out, I had no idea what I was doing. It was actually almost laughable looking back at what I considered to be cool or impressive that I could pull off with technology, like attaching a link to an email, to an exercise demonstration video to ensure the client knew exactly what to do. But at the time, being able to send a program, even though it was basically a Word document with YouTube links attached to it, was a big deal for me. Since then, I've definitely raised the standard, and I now leverage technology and employ quite a bit of industry-specific software to ensure that the quality of service that I'm able to offer is of the highest degree of professionalism that I'm currently able to, and I'm always trying to push that standard higher, to raise that bar to the next level, especially considering there's some incredible coaches out there who are doing a phenomenal job and who inspire me every single day with what they're able to bring to the table in terms of quality of service, professionalism, and of course, client results. So without going too much into story time, I can definitely cover this in another video, not to worry. About 5 years ago, I wanted to increase my income. I wanted to generate more revenue. And knowing as much, I figured one of the best ways to do that was to somehow leverage my knowledge base and skill set to coach more people outside of a one-on-one hour. Something that anyone who has reached the point where they're doing 40, 50, or 60 sessions a week has realized is kind of a necessity, because continuing to add more and more appointments to your calendar becomes physically and mentally exhausting. And you only have so many hours in the day, so at some point, you've got to create some sort of almost semi-passive income stream where you're monetizing your skills and knowledge more than just your hour. It was around this time that I started to learn about the online coaching models that were available. I hadn't really heard of them before, nor did I fully understand them, but I decided to take a deep dive in. And I had absolutely no idea what I was doing, but being somewhat impulsive, which I can be from time to time, an ad happened to flash across my Facebook page, which was interesting simply because of the fact that I had just started looking into it, and voila, here was a course that I could take in order to improve my ability to offer online coaching. I actually don't even have a good reason why I decided to purchase that course. Because when I say impulsive, it was about as impulsive as you could get. I didn't know the guy offering the course. I didn't really know what the course was about, except that it was related to the online coaching industry and it was positioned towards the business aspect. I knew I sucked at business. I also knew I sucked at online coaching. And I figured at worst, because my knowledge base was zero in both of those relative arenas, I'd learn something and move up a stage. Also, considering that at the time, very few people, if any, were offering anything of value. In this course, not only did it come along with online modules with which you could learn at your own pace, which was great because I was working around the clock for a small boutique studio, but it also came with a hardcover textbook. And that kind of stood out to me because there's so many influencers, if you will, or online business coaches in the market. Most of them were just offering all of their services in some sort of e-information model. This came with a physical product. And although that might seem inefficient or maybe not cost effective, it caught my attention. And I purchased the course. I know it sounds crazy, but looking back, it was actually the best business decision I have ever made. Here's why. So the course I took was presented by the Online Trainer Academy. In fact, I don't even think this was considered level 1 then, because I don't know if level 2 was even a thought as of yet. And John might be able to confirm that I don't even think you can really get your hands on this textbook anymore, because this is a throwback textbook. This is one of the originals. And I still reference it on an almost weekly basis because of how much value add is present in these pages. So again, this was an extremely impulsive decision. I really had no idea what I was getting myself into or what I was going to learn in this course, especially considering that I didn't even finish reading the sales landing page. I just knew, for whatever reason, good decision or bad decision at the time, that John knew more than I did about online training, an industry that nobody seemed to be talking about. It was a quiet arena. He knew more than I did about the business end. He knew more than I did about the delivery of online coaching itself. And I knew that's what I wanted to learn about. So that's why I made the decision, and I was pleasantly surprised. Just to give you a little bit of insight into some of the topics you'll learn about in the level 1 course. It's now level 1 because there's a level 2 as well. You're going to learn about getting started in the online training industry, which is one of the toughest hurdles to overcome. What's the first step you should take, especially in consideration of what you want to do? Because everybody's business model and intent is different. What people are looking for in terms of business size is different. You might be looking for a semi-passive income stream that allows you to save up to go on an extra vacation every year. You might be looking to transition this into your full-time income or something in between. Understanding as much, there's going to be a lot of questions and framework you have to set that make the most sense for what you want to achieve. Building off of that, you're also going to learn about all of the contributing factors to structuring your business. How to find clients. How to take care of the clients you already have. Further, how to continue to find new clients as your business grows. As well, you're going to learn about all sorts of important contributing skill sets that are going to help you grow and scale your business. Consider things like lead generation strategies, testimonial collection, writing sales copy, things along those lines. This book is an incredible value add. This book offers so much insight into an industry that is incredibly overwhelming right now. This book is exactly what helped me set the framework and foundation required to build the business that I have today. The business that is slowly but surely becoming something of a miniature empire. So let me give you a little bit more insight into the specifics of how I've leveraged the information I've learned in the Online Trainer Academy and the relative timeline that has led to the current position I am in and how I currently employ online coaching strategies. So when I first started out, I was a coach and an assistant manager at a small boutique gym, and I wanted to earn more money, but I was fed up with trading my hour for more income. That works at 40 hours, at 50 hours, even at 60, but when you start averaging 70 to 80 sessions a week, it starts to really draw on your physical and mental energy. So knowing as much, I realized this was not a sustainable strategy, and I had to find a way to leverage my knowledge and skill set, as I mentioned earlier in the video. So knowing as much, I was able to start offering almost like a side hustle in a professional service sense. So working first thing in the mornings and later in the evenings and on the weekends, I was able to develop this semi-passive income stream that relied on my knowledge base and professional skill set as a coach. And I was able to generate a little bit of extra income. This was great because it allowed me to start amassing a little bit more capital that I would later deploy when opening my gym. Further, upon opening my gym, I used a hybrid strategy from day one. A hybrid strategy is basically a combination of in-person coaching as well as online coaching. I've covered it in another video, which I'll make sure to link in the description to this. Nevertheless, whoever walked through the doors of the gym, whether they worked with a coach 3 or 4 times a week or not at all, they were paying for a service model which provided them the workout structure and programming design needed to move them along towards their individual goals and the achievement of their personal aims. At the time, reaching out to some of my friends who had been in the industry for quite a bit longer than me, people that I looked up to, not one of them could confirm that they had ever seen someone employ this strategy where you literally couldn't work out in the building without having your programming done for you. So I figured I might have been onto something, but I just wasn't sure what exactly. So regardless, that's how I structured things from day one. I didn't know if it was going to be a hit or a miss, but it turned out to be incredibly welcomed by the clients that I was servicing. That hybrid model started to become further and further popular, and then what happened after that was I started to reach out to purely online clients, meaning individuals who maybe heard about me through clients that I worked with in person who lived out of town, who were aware that because of the model we were employing with their friends or family members, that I was able to service them even though there was quite a bit of distance between us. This led to clients as far away as 3,000, 3,500 kilometers reaching out, connecting, and then signing up for purely online coaching. So as you can see with this timeline, it started out as a little bit of a weekend gig, if you will, turned into a hybrid model that formed the foundation of the private gym that I own, and then transitioned into a purely online service option, which then finally has transitioned into a high-ticket online coaching option. And so what that means is we often work in person with individuals who are interested in having a private coach 2, 3, or even 4 times a week. As you can imagine, in combination with a hybrid model, working with a coach for an hour multiple times a week is definitely a premium package. Now, understanding as much, we have similar people reach out to us that live 4 hours away or 3,500 kilometers away who are interested in the same premium services and accountability. So knowing as much, we've been able to put together packages that offer comparable value, albeit with a slightly different model because we can't fly out 4 times a week to spend an hour with them, but we're able to service them at that premium package level as they desire. And we're able to ensure that even though we're not there in person with them, that they're able to achieve the desired outcome that they initially have set out to achieve. So that framework that started out as a weekend gig, if you will, has now expanded to the ability for us to offer hybrid coaching services in person, has allowed us to offer purely online coaching services, has allowed us to offer purely online premium coaching services. And it continues to allow us to expand month after month after month. And all of that framework was built off of the stuff I learned in the Online Trainer Academy, in what is now considered the Level 1 course. As I mentioned, as impulsive as that decision was, it is bar none the best business decision that I've ever made, considering it's exactly what has set the framework to allow my business to grow, evolve, and not just survive through this chaos, but actually has set it up to thrive. If you happen to have any specific questions in regards to the Level 1 course, any points of curiosity that you'd like clarification on, slide in my DMs, send me a private message, drop me a comment, touch base, reach out. Let me know what I can answer for you based off my own personal experience, and of course how it has contributed to my current success. If you're interested in learning more about the Online Trainer Academy, I'll make sure to drop a couple of links in the description for you. Further, I'll make sure to post a link for one of John's recent publications, The Wealthy Fit Pro's Guide to Online Training. In fact, right now, this book is free. You just pay the shipping on it. So I'll drop a link for this as well. If you're interested in getting started, you're ready to rock and roll, you know where to start.